Hello, everyone. It's Tuesday, and we are on another episode of the MSP Initiative Live Blues Edition. My normal partner in crime, Kenny P, is out for the count, so we bring in Mr. Alec Stanners. How you doing today, Stanners?
Good, George. How about yourself?
It's pretty nice here in sunny Florida. That's where I'm at. Got sunglasses going for that reason. You know what I mean?
I will say it is nice to get out of the cold a little bit. Sunny Tampa is definitely not a bad place to be.
100%. Fresh air, good temperature, a little bit of sunshine does the body good.
Absolutely.
100%.
So what's new in the industry? What do you want to talk about today?
Well, we can't forget about the normal announcements, right? We got the Channel Strong Tour coming to the Midwest.
Pretty good loop around the Midwest, actually. We're kicking off in Nashville and we're ending all the way up in Indianapolis. So, I mean, we kind of crisscross all around Chicago and the Great Lakes area. So we're hitting quite a few cities up there. I'd say if anybody's in those areas and you haven't looked yet, take a look. Chances are we're going to be crossing paths with you, or at least coming pretty close. So definitely worth it. And I can actually shoot the website right into the chat here for everybody.
We don't have to even do that. I can actually share my screen and we can talk about these dates. Here we go. So we have 20 days before the tour kicks off, and here is our event schedule. That's 2 weeks of solid roading.
It absolutely is.
So weather should be good by then in these areas, I would think. It's probably pretty nice now, to be honest. But definitely at the end of May, we should be in good shape. So if you're in these areas, come on down. We'd love to see you. There's also our monthly giveaways. So if you go to the website, mspinitiative.com/giveaway, you can see here are our 10 prizes for the month and our participating group of friendly vendors who are throwing some fun prizes out there. So, throw your name in the ring. All you got to do is, put your name in and you could win. 10 chances to win. What do you got to lose, right?
Definitely. I don't think anybody's will be complaining to bring home one of those prizes. We definitely had some fun things on there. Like obviously it's been fun giving away those man crates from bvoip. If anyone hasn't seen those yet, they're a terrific gift. But they're also just a lot of fun to receive. So I did receive one from the bvoip team in the past, and it was a good experience. It was a lot of fun.
100%. No, it's good. It's good times. Well, lots of things happening in the technology world. As always, right? I mean, no day goes by without something new coming in. I got on my phone this morning, my iPhone, that update that they just pushed out, right? 14.5, which is where all the privacy stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
So 1.5 gigs got to be on Wi-Fi. That's why I haven't done mine today. But since we're on it, I was passing by an article where it gave us a couple of reasons why not to update. Check this out. Of course, being an early adopter doesn't always pay off. So every once in a while, there's a disastrous bug, and not every developer will be ready on launch day. Those are two pretty important things. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, with the iPhone especially, I've always been a little bit behind on the updates. I mean, unless I hear there's some critical bug they're fixing, or some battery drain issue or some big security issue. Overall, I usually give it at least a couple weeks or so, just because I've also seen it get pretty ugly. So,
yeah, 100%. We're a big Surface shop here, for our team. But I noticed this came out today. This is Dell's Surface Pro competitor.
Interesting. I do like the Surface. I mean, as somebody who travels quite a bit for business, it's just really versatile. It's been nice. It's lightweight. It goes with you, but it's powerful enough still to do anything I need it to do. So I mean, we've done video editing on the road. We've done tons of stuff. So I'm not mad about competition. I like a market that has got some competition, keeps everybody on their toes, keeps prices down. So not bad for the consumers.
If anybody hasn't seen these bad boys, you got the Microsoft Surface headphones.
So is this a Microsoft commercial or
I mean, they're not sponsoring us, but we can surely ask, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's been cool standardizing on that. I've been in a bunch of different workplaces. I've worked with Apple centric stuff. I've worked with obviously Microsoft centric stuff here, and a couple of shops that were really a lot of HP devices. And I will say the Microsoft stuff seems to be rock solid for me. I haven't had any issues, so definitely a big fan. No sponsor dollars exchanged, but honest review is that yeah, no, I've been enjoying them, and it was cool that we started using those Surface headphones. So they're definitely pretty nice for calls.
Well, it looks like we've had another Microsoft Teams outage this morning. Did anybody notice that?
Did not.
Wow.
Good. Must have not been. Was it globally?
It says
Oh.
globally. So hopefully it looks like that's being cleaned up maybe, but early this morning, there was a team outage.
Okay, I was gonna say on the bvoip side of the business, I was actually demoing our Teams integration earlier, and it wasn't down. So okay, before 6 a.m. There you go.
Yeah, 100%. Seth, you said something about proprietary 4K. What's that?
I'm gonna guess he's talking about the Surface devices.
Possible.
Yep. He said the Surface devices. Unsure. Not something I've personally played around with too much.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So it's interesting.
It is interesting.
So I just saw this in the feed too. So like basically, here we go. You gotta love this one. Microsoft and Intel enabled AI-backed protection against CPU crypto mining. Well, you don't have your own rigs. You can just hack somebody else's stuff and create your own botnet and then make everybody else's computers go and do your mining for you.
Well, that was the whole surge last year and the year before. And that was a lot of the RMMs were scrambling to put protections in place for that, especially with mobile devices even. I mean, everything was being used. It was a sketchy place for a minute in the computer world, but it's good to see they're actually actively starting it at the hardware level.
100%. I mean, that's some much needed protection, I think.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, although the crypto, well, up until a potential tax hike that was announced last week, it was on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dogecoin's up crazy percent.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Tesla is actually selling out of Bitcoin and Elon.
Yep.
Looks like they ballooned it, and now the price is finally going back down.
Yeah, we'll see. It always goes up. I mean, as much as people don't want to relate it to the stock market, the trends follow. It goes up, it goes down, it goes back up again. Unless some crazy legislation comes out that just totally outlaws it, it's not going to ever go down and stay down.
What is this? A BMW branded phone? Let's see.
Seth also asked if there's any news on supply chains regarding 15-inch laptops. George, have you heard anything from our partners on any issues?
There's definitely a chip shortage. And it's not just affecting just desktops and laptops. It's also affecting cars. Do you have any idea how backed up the car market is right now for new cars?
Oh, it's insanely backed up, and then the used car market ballooned because of it.
Yeah, I have people right now that went to go buy a car, and I was like, dude, it's like $5,000 more than you would normally get.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea what's going on there, but something's off. But this BMW powered phone with a vapor cooling chamber that nobody asked for. I mean, people are just going to buy this because it's a BMW branded phone.
Yeah. Vapor cooling and liquid cooling is becoming a little more popular in phones. Android phones have been doing it for a couple of years now.
100%. By the way, back to that laptop shortage. I know for a fact. I mean, I was actually bouncing through all the shops, and I noticed that Dell is really behind on their devices. I don't know if that's what you use usually, Jeff.
So Extend July 19th ship
July
date.
19th? My Lord. Why is that so bad? They're really behind. You might have to switch, man. You might have to switch to like Lenovo or an HP. I know that nobody likes to jump the line, but if you're stuck till July, that doesn't sound right. Maybe you get some Surfaces. There you go. Not that we're sponsored by Microsoft or anything. So I forgot about this. This is the big news on the block from yesterday. We had another Thoma Bravo acquisition of Proofpoint. Pretty popular email security solution, right? 10 things. Thoma Bravo. Yeah, I mean, they were a publicly traded company, and Thoma's coming in for the largest security acquisition ever for $12.5 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Something's not, I mean, like, for a second, everything went dormant, right? Because of COVID, but it looks like they're coming back, man.
No, here's the thing. The market's still here and it's still happening. I think everyone had a quite quick pause, but it wasn't a long one. I would say, I mean, if you follow Joe Panettiere and Channel ED, the acquisitions didn't slow down by any means. They're still happening. There's dozens and dozens already this year, and I'm sure we'll see dozens more. I mean, Datto acquired an email security themselves just a month or two ago, and now you got Thoma Bravo, who obviously owns ConnectWise and owns quite a few other players out there, or at least a good portion of quite a few other players out there. So,
yeah, 100%. So all of a sudden, the money is sitting there ready for the next buy, right?
Absolutely.
100%.
So what do you think is next? I mean, email security is obviously a pretty big trend right now. What do you think is the next big piece in security for acquisitions? Obviously, we saw a little bit of SOC. So
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what happens in a couple of different spaces, I think. I mean, security's been hot. That's not a question. I think some of the smaller software players are going to get scooped up into the larger guys, right? I mean, I know, like Thoma isn't planning on merging Proofpoint with somebody else, right? They're going to be their own entity, just like Barracuda was, just like Sophos was, and a bunch of others, right? But I think that there's a play for a lot of the early stage or even slightly mature startups to finally start getting, we saw that with Rocket Cyber recently, right? And stuff like that. I think you're going to see a lot of that happening. What do you think?
yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of new players right now, and it's I feel bad for them because I feel like it's a tough time to come out as a new software vendor right now. It's just harder to get your name out there. I mean, before we know what it was, right? You go to an IT Nation and the Startup Alley, or you go to DattoCon, and it's an easy way to get your message out to a lot of people about what you're doing. I think it's a lot harder at the virtual shows. I think it's a lot harder not having that in-person contact. So I think we'll see it, but I think we'll see it more once the shows come back. I think once the shows come back and a little bit of interest, I mean, we've all seen it, right? When a new and right time, right place idea comes along, like an IT glue, takes off like wildfire, and the acquisition dollars are usually not far behind.
So Seth's like, you don't think they're going to try and merge Sophos and a Proofpoint? I mean, is it
same argument? Same argument's been around with Barracuda and Sophos forever. Why would they not just merge the two and go one product line? And because right now, I mean, technically, there's products there that you're selling against each other.
That's correct.
So it's kind of across the board. Will there be this great, this great, merge of a couple different companies? Could be. I mean, unfortunately, there's people way up the pay grade and sitting in the tower that are making those decisions. So.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that all comes together, but I'm sure depending on who has what money into which fund, right? I think that's gonna play a large part. I know there's just a lot of money parked right now from the pandemic where people literally have money sitting ready to go that got paused, and now it's just they got to spend it or else it's got to go back, right?
Absolutely, yeah. No, we're seeing that a lot in the event spend market. We're seeing it. Some of the people, I mean, look at us, right? From the bvoip side, we used to go international quite a bit each year. Obviously, we haven't been able to do that. So, I think some of what we'll start to see more MDF dollars going out probably. I think a lot of that can easily get redirected into that as our partners start to do smaller events again. So I think those are obviously the more well accepted right now in terms of the industry, especially depending on where you are. So I think partners will start doing those again. I think MDF dollars will probably flow for that. And I mean, it seems like we're right on the cusp of full blown trade shows coming back. So next few months, I think we'll start to see them pretty heavy.
Yeah, I think it will. I think the events are absolutely coming back. I'm seeing a lot of emails already for some of the more regional events that are surely popping through. I would love to see how many people actually show up to some of that stuff, but time will tell, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, from a Channel Strong perspective, with MSP Initiative, we had great attendance on our first tour. And obviously it's first tour of the year. We weren't really sure, how it would be received in all areas, and everyone loved it. People were ecstatic to see people, in the local region. MSPs were just excited to see each other. I think everyone missed that hallway chat. So there's definitely a want for it and a need for it. For us, one of the eye-opening things for me was I always loved the idea of the bus and what we're doing with it. But one of the recurring messages we got from MSPs was when, trade shows come back, when things go back to normal, whatever we want to call it, please don't stop doing this. I think it was having that local feel and being in the backyard. And, we had a lot of people who really took it to the next level. We had MSPs who called us and said, I only want to work with this person because I know they're struggling and they're a customer of mine and I want to help them out. So we use them for lunch. Things like that were just great. Or, hey, I'm an MSP and I support this hotel. Could you stay there? It was really nice to hear that kind of stuff and be able to support those markets, but also just the community feel of it, I think was great. So I think there's a want, I think there's a need, and people will definitely come out to them. So full blown, the 3,000 person trade shows, I don't know how far we are away from that, but we'll see, I guess. It's also tough because the international market's closed off from us, right? I mean, Australia can't come over here for at least another year.
Where'd you hear
Canada, I think they said July 2022 is when New Zealand's considering opening their borders.
Really?
That was I got a message from one of our New Zealand partners today who messaged me that.
Wow.
So I'm hoping it's earlier than that, obviously, but that was what they mentioned. Europe seems like they're starting to ease open. Canada still seems like it's completely unlocked. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole Canada thing, to be honest. I really don't.
One of the feedback items I actually did get was I talked to an Australian partner on Saturday, and he was telling me that they're having a really hard time getting vaccines. Well, for us over here, it's pretty easy. I mean, most states now, like I know I'm in New York, and if you're over 18, you can just sign up on a website and usually get it within a couple of days.
100%.
But over there, I mean, they have like the AstraZeneca, but everyone's kind of freaked out about it. And then there's the other ones, and I think they're not getting many Pfizers, they're not getting the Modernas. So for them, it's a little bit harder. They're in kind of a weird spot.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be. We already heard that Europe's definitely going to allow the travel this summer, but it's going to be for with vaccine passports.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how that's going to work, right? How do they validate your printed out card with a label on it? But okay.
What do you guess for that database?
Who knows? I mean, how do they? It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure. I mean, at one point you had a book trip to overseas. I don't think you ever made that. Greece, right?
Yeah, no, I had honeymoon set for Greece, and obviously did not happen, unfortunately. So put that on pause. Hopefully, maybe end of the year, maybe next year. But yeah, it's also tough. I think what we're gonna find is, I mean, obviously you and I have worked on Europe for years now together, and some countries like Italy, I wonder how quickly they'll bounce back from a business perspective.
Sure.
Obviously they were pretty ravaged in the beginning of it. And it'll definitely be a pretty big change. I mean, some of these cities like London was on lockdown for way longer than any of us ever were.
That's true. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, even the cruise line industry isn't allowed to. I know they're taking reservations, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't even think they're allowed to roll right now.
No, the big issue I heard with the cruise industry is actually they can't get anybody to come and work. They had to lay everybody off in the beginning of the pandemic, and now they're struggling to get people to come back and work because they're making more sitting at home on unemployment. It's become a major issue. So they're trying to train people now so they can go back to the government and say, okay, we're ready. We have trained staff. We've taken all the precautions. We've met all of your CDC requirements. Let us, take sail. And they can't get through phase one because nobody's accepting the jobs.
Interesting. Very interesting. I didn't realize this, but I guess going back into the technology news, I guess Amazon is about to shift to in-garage groceries. Look at this. It's crazy. A pilot program in just 5 cities. They're looking to expand this in-garage grocery delivery to 5,000.
Oh yeah, with Key. So that's available now. I was actually about to try it. So I have a smart garage door opener. So right now, sitting in Tampa, I could open up my garage door. But Amazon does it in a really nice way. So you have to have a camera set up and connected to it. And the camera protects them and you from liability purposes. You can't say, he stole my lawnmower, or broke into my house. So cameras in there for, your safety, their liability. But it opens up with a code that they get. So Amazon essentially has your code. They give a specific code for them that works for like half hour. They can enter it, slide open the package, or slide the package in, and then it closes behind them. So it's a pretty cool program. It's definitely going to help with package thieves. I'll tell you that much. And all the new garage door openers are smart.
Interesting. I don't know if I like the fact that somebody can, because if it can be set up this way, it can be hacked, right?
Obviously a worry. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there, and I think there's a big education coming. I think it's a huge opportunity for MSPs. I mean, the fact of the matter is you're, no matter what, you're supporting people at home from here on out. There's going to be at least a subset of the people you're supporting, they'll be at home. A lot of businesses went full-time remote going forward, or full-time option to go remote. So I think you have to be ready for that. There's a lot of touch points. My whole house is kitted out with smart stuff. I love it. Can't get enough of it. But I also am in the technology field. I have a lot of friends who are heavy technologists. And for me, I spend a lot of time making sure private SSIDs, heavily encrypted passwords, that's a lot of stuff that you could easily set up, because there's also that level of fear because ABC shows this guy broke into this person's Ring camera and viewed them. And, I think there's definitely an option for a money-making opportunity for MSPs there.
Did you see that NASA is going with SpaceX to deliver their astronauts to the moon?
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I have a cousin that works for SpaceX.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's cool.
Yep.
Is it as cool as it seems?
It sounds pretty cool, yeah. She can't get me to the moon, though, I asked.
Oh, yeah? She couldn't sneak you into the cockpit there?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But, no, it sounds very cool. I'm sure any of his companies is a pretty big trip. I have to imagine it's pretty fast paced and pretty awesome, but cool to be on that cutting edge.
This one's for you. I know you're going to love this. Tesla's full self-driving subscription is coming.
Yeah, I hope that that's not held up. There was an accident recently, but somebody was completely breaking all the rules of it. They weren't even in the driver's seat. Yeah, it's
I mean, 10,000 is the going number, it looks like.
Yeah, it used to be 7. I think it was 7, and it's crept its way up. But I'll look forward to it. I've seen some of their early level stuff and definitely been following it. I'd love to see it.
Oh, with the price of power going up, does it still make sense?
So I actually just did this price calculation on my side.
Like last month, this month, last year, when?
Last month actually. So my car's up at the end of the year. There's a really good website, Teslanomics, and you can actually go in and you can it'll help you find your off-peak hours. You enter that in, how many miles you drive in a month, what's your average price of gas around you, and it'll calculate out the whole thing and give you all of your savings. So really nice. My off-peak hours were like 0.0009 cents as long as I charge after 11 and before 7 a.m. So Tesla has that option right within them. So I think it was going to cost me if I charge at home and I drive 1,000 miles a month, it was going to cost me, it was like $8 a month.
Wow.
I just filled up my
Just doesn't sound.
yeah. I just filled up my sedan the other day in New York, and it cost me $52.
Yeah. Well, it's New York. Got to have that high gas tax.
Yep.
There you go. Half of U.S. consumers are interested in buying foldable phones.
I'm still torn on this. So from a traveling standpoint, I think there's probably a level of productivity I could get out of it. It would also not be a bad screen for sitting on an airplane. At the same point, I feel like at some point that's gonna break.
Oh, yeah, the folding glass is just not for you, huh?
At some point it's gonna break, or at some point you're gonna get that crease in it.
Yeah.
That seems to be the two issues with those.
Kind of like Josh's computer screen, huh?
Exactly, like Josh's computer screen.
Yeah, there you go. I think it's coming. I do. I hear a lot more about it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I think it is coming. I'll just be curious to see if this is really the final iteration of what they're gonna kind of standardize on, right? Because the iPhone kind of got to a level, and then everyone else sort of built it in the same kind of form factor. So maybe more cameras or less cameras or whatever, but similar form factor. I'll be curious to see if that's the form factor we go with. Obviously, like the Razer came out, and that was kind of cool from a tech standpoint. There's obviously the nostalgia factor there, right? Most of us had that phone, and so
I thought they brought it back.
they did, and it looks nice, and it's a foldable screen. So it's cool. I think they're also really highly priced right now. If I remember, I think the Galaxy one's like $2,500.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're up there. At least it was when it first came out. I think you can get them sub 2,000 now, but I mean, still, I don't feel great paying 12 to 1,400 for my iPhones.
100%.
So.
How about this? AT&T Fiber is finally upgrading their base plans. 300 meg. Pretty good.
I think we're going to see a major push. For years, legislation would crack down on the ISPs, the major ISPs, and tell them they had to offer better speeds. They had to offer into the more rural areas, and none of them did it.
For gigabits, not bad.
No, that's great. That's really good.
Oh.
The problem with fibers is always what it is, right? It depends on where you are.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of counties that don't have it. There's a lot of old school deals that are sitting in place that are blocking them from expanding, and that kind of stuff makes it tough. I think Starlink's going to throw a pretty major wrench into that.
I just don't know what the latency is going to be on Starlink.
So I'm trying to remember what it was. I did see reported numbers. It's not bad so far. People are reporting pretty decent specs on it. They're putting it through its paces, and it's like anything with Tesla. It's not bad when it starts, and it gets pretty great over time.
I mean, they're saying, here we go. Not that I like to use this as a qualitative news source, but 100, there you go, 100 meg down, 20 meg up, below 31 milliseconds. That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
That's basically what in a lot of areas is right now.
I mean, the location you're showing there looks like previously they tied an antenna to a cow. So, I mean, that's it's pretty great. It's cool to see. Seth, I would think that wouldn't have an issue with phone traffic. George?
No, 31 milliseconds latency. You won't have to even mess with your traffic. It should just work.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think. I mean, we traditionally, we've had some clients calling us some pretty interesting, I have a client out in the bayou in Louisiana or some weird rural areas. And it was always a challenge of, well, what could you possibly do to get good internet there? Heard all sorts of crazy stuff. I know I worked with an MSP a couple years ago who worked in, actually it was in rural Pennsylvania, the more rural Pennsylvania area, and they were doing campgrounds. And they would actually tap into local internet and they would do repeaters all the way into the campground and then all through the campgrounds. And they made a killing doing it. They're doing a great job, but something like that. I mean, you have to get real creative sometimes. And this now it's not cheap. I think it's $500 startup fee and then $100 a month. But you plant the satellite auto readjusts itself. You're never getting up on your roof to mess with it. It's not bad.
Check this out. This came out yesterday. 20,000 new jobs in North Carolina.
Wow. We just had a pretty big announcement for upstate New York, Global Foundries. Global Foundries makes makes a majority of the Apple chips and the Samsung chips, and they're moving their global headquarters from Santa Clara, California to Malta, New York. So it's about 20 minutes north of me.
Malta, New York.
Mm-hmm. They've had a pretty big operation there for a number of years now, and they're moving the whole thing.
Wow. Lots of jobs.
Lots of jobs in, a lot of these areas, but California is it'll be interesting to watch the next few years of business out there because even big stuff's starting to move. Like that's obviously a massive Apple move. But I know originally Apple, before the pandemic, announced they were looking to move out to Denver. So I don't know if that ended up happening or if this was a different plan for them.
Yeah. So let's take a little interesting trip down. What'd you think of the? By the way, spoiler alert. What'd you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier ending?
Oh, we definitely should spoil alert this. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It obviously tees up a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of these it's cool. They're laying the groundwork for the new phase of the Marvel movies, and I love the fact that there's only obviously we used to have to wait pretty long before, and then I think the pandemic did one good thing for us from a movie perspective. It kind of pushed all these back into a queue. So we've got, I think, like 4 or 5 Marvel movies coming in this year alone.
The question is, will the movie theater industry survive?
That's a great question. I think they've got to evolve pretty quickly. I know up by me and a couple of places I travel in the country, there's still the old stuffy movie theater seats.
Dude, I still got the outdoor drive-in seat by me.
Yeah, same here. And I think that's a great model. I do. I think that's a really good model. They're relatively cheap. You're seeing a couple movies. They're making good money on snacks and ice cream, whatever else. I think those are a great model. I think if anything, that's probably not an industry that's helped much. That would probably be a great one for MSPs to pop their head into and see what they can do from a tech perspective. POS systems, check-in, check-out systems, right? I mean, some of them are probably still only accepting cash for good or bad reasons. But from a movie theater perspective, I think it's going to be an evolve or die. Like the old movie theaters that want to stick around and have the old stuffy seats and $15 popcorn are going to go away pretty quickly. But I mean, I know down by you, I went to a movie theater one time in Northern PA, and it was awesome. You guys have great theaters. Texas is the king of great theaters.
Northern PA, I hope not. Since we're on the TV and app stuff, Mortal Kombat, again, spoiler alert. What'd you think?
So I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't like it. I caught this one just over the weekend, and for me, I think a lot of people didn't like it because they were expecting like a full-blown movie, but the old one, in a way, kind of rushed it. I think they took a Marvel kind of approach of we're going to lay the groundwork, we're going to introduce some good characters, but we're not going to introduce everyone. We're going to leave it so we can introduce more as we go. And they set it up for more movies. So, that's my spoiler-free review.
Where's the tournament, man?
It's
a video game movie about a fighting tournament. They didn't have the fighting tournament.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
They said in the beginning it's coming, and they said that they're, teeing up the fighters. They introduced some really good characters. I think that they teed it up for a next movie that'll be the tournament, and it'll be great. And I think it was cool to see it rated R and decently gory. And it was the right level of corny.
6 out of 5, man. 6 out of 5, or 6 out of 10. I'm sorry, that was my grading.
I'll give it I give it a 7.
All right, we're in the same boat. We're in the same boat.
I don't think it was amazing. I didn't blow my socks off, but I enjoyed watching it.
How about one? You forget your Tesla. How about one of these bad boys right here? 1 second. Oh yeah. What do you think about that?
There's so much complication between, they're saying pre-order for 2026. There's so much complications between now and then. Like, do you need a pilot's license? Do you need to register with the FAA, right? Like, you have to register a drone right now with the FAA. You're obviously going to have to register that, which means you're going to have a federal flight license. I mean, there's a lot of complications between now and then. They can do the reveal and show off their models, their scale model of it, but actually going out to a dealership and buying one or ordering one, I think we're far away. It's a cool idea, and I mean, me, I enjoy flight travel, and I think it'll be pretty cool, but yeah, I'm still skeptical at this point.
I'll tell you what, that'll make that Tesla real old school, real fast.
Tesla is still predicting that they'll have the ability to self-drive themselves across the country, stopping at superchargers.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. I mean, if you think
Great
about
for the superchargers start charging you to charge.
they're not too bad. They're kind of like a cheap fill up from what I've seen. So if you have to use a supercharger and you don't have a Model S or you're not in a grandfather program, it's not too bad.
I don't know.
That's for sure.
I don't think we're filling up the tour bus on electricity.
Not for a while. Although the Tesla semis seem like they're coming pretty quickly. I mean, that's an industry that's gonna change fast. Those Tesla semis come into play real quick. You're not gonna have to worry about driver stopping and sleeping overnight and everything else. That thing's just gonna drive 24 hours a day. If it's not charging, it'll be driving.
I just think the price of electricity is only going to go up.
Probably because we're going to be using more of it.
100%. Absolutely.
Definitely going to be taxed over the next few years. So we'll see.
Yeah, for real. I mean, now that it's out there, right? Like these, I mean, they keep on pressing them, right? These Apple AirTags. You see any need? You think you're going to use these?
I have a couple of tiles sitting around. I think they're nice. I haven't looked too much into these. I like the idea of, from what I saw, it looks like there's a good level of GPS to it. Before the like tile and so that, a lot of it's just kind of pinging. It's less so like real-time GPS, and that's to me what I think there's a huge, option for. Like, think about throwing one of these. If they have full-blown GPS, I would definitely pay for it, pay a monthly whatever. Throw one in my suitcase. My suitcase doesn't show up, I'll tell you exactly where it is to the airline, and even your backpack, your whatever. I think there's a huge.
You've lost a few bags over the years.
I have traveled enough. Something's bound to happen.
Especially at the hotels.
Yeah, that was an awful circumstance, but yeah, bounce back. But I mean, think about it. You could even, stick one under the seat of your car, and then your car gets stolen. You know exactly where it is. If you don't have LoJack or
services for that, OnStar and all that other stuff.
There are, but I mean, what if you have a classic car? What if you have, OnStar is a pretty specific to the Chevy GM models. So I mean, not everything has it. So I think that's when I'll buy into that kind of tech more. For right now, the tag is nice for. I think I have one in my wallet and one in one of my keys. So not bad.
Yeah, I can't until you lose your phone because that's what's tracking all of it, right?
Actually, it is, but if you click the button on the tile, it then pings your phone and makes your phone beep.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And then you can also do if you have an Apple Watch, you can ping your phone from your Apple Watch. That's another nice little lost item trick.
Here's one for you. Ready? AirDrop could be hacked.
I'm not surprised by this. It's a tech that's been around for a while, and there's definitely been some shadier stuff that's happened with it. Some unwanted airdrops and stuff like that. There's tons of reports a while back on a lot of education on how to turn off airdrop from everyone, because people used to do it all the time. And I was like, yeah, everyone, whatever, when anyone would be able to send me my stuff. And then you get on the subway and somebody would airdrop something you definitely should not be looking at or don't want to be looking at. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It seems like a very big open door, just to auto receive something. So yeah, we'll see what it does.
I wonder how well this is gonna go. Check this out. Palm reading payment.
I saw this. This is coming to Whole Foods. Amazon's doing some really cool stuff from a tech perspective for the grocery stores. Have you seen the video walkthrough of their newest no checkout grocery stores?
I've heard about it. I didn't see the walkthrough.
So they have a grocery cart that's got cameras and scanners all around the rim of it. So when you drop something in, it just it scans it from 50 different angles. It gets it, and then it'll automatically add it to your cart. So anytime you can look at your cart on your phone, they even have like Alexas all over the store, so you can just say like, Alexa, where's this item, and it'll say, oh, over in aisle 10. Really cool from that standpoint. They're like weight censored, camera sensor. There's an AI driven camera that's up above that's looking at everything you're doing. So if you pull something off the shelf, it'll check out who you are and automatically add it to your cart if the cart didn't get it. So there's like 3 or 4 different measures in place. It sounds like it's pretty accurate too. So I think they're a strong upfront cost, but I mean, it's no different than New York just switched to no toll booths. So we are 100% easy pass style toll booths now, where you just roll right through, camera gets you, and it just adds to your bill. I think it'd be pretty wild to think about if that'll catch on, from the grocery store perspective. It's going to have the same kind of thing. It'll be a large upfront cost to get the cameras, get everything else in place, but you're not paying people really. I mean, you're paying people to go in and stock it each night. But you're paying a lot less people than you would to run a grocery store.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how well it works for sure. How about one of your favorite days of the year? Amazon Prime Day, rumored to come back in July. I know somebody sitting on the, down the table for me is just like jumping for joy.
I do like Prime Day, but I find it so hit or miss. I got to be honest. I just feel like sometimes I jump on there, there's some really cool stuff. Sometimes I jump on there and it's absolute junk. It's like bottom of the barrel tech that they're pushing off, like, the most basic robot vacuum and other stuff like that. It's definitely one of those ones you got to work for it to get something good out of it.
Yeah, July 12th and 13th. Let's see, you're putting it into the calendar right now.
I will say, what company surprised me recently was I got a couple of Wise devices.
Okay.
And those have been pretty cool.
What's so wow?
I actually got, well, I mean, a lot of times it's their cost, right? They're the ones selling the smart cameras for $25.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something decent that you could stick in like a server room to see what's going on, or so I've heard some pretty cool stories of that from MSPs. But I actually got their vacuum recently, and it was $180 for full blown Wi-Fi enabled, camera driven smart vacuum with LiDAR. So it does full room mapping, everything, and it has the same features as a $400 to $600 vacuum. For obviously quite a big fraction of the cost.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I love their techs that way. They're full blown zoom and pan cameras, only $30 to $35.
Wow. Well, it'll be just you can always buy more, right? There's never enough places on the internet to buy stuff.
Yeah, they're really building out a whole like smart home suite. So they actually built out smart locks, doorbells, smart sprinkler controller. So they're just going across the board and building out whatever they can that'll come at a pretty good value cost for the home.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Just a lot of chatter online about this privacy thing with the new 14.5 iPhone. All of the big tech guys now are getting so salty they can't track you everywhere without asking for your permission.
Yep. Sure they are.
hey, time was finally going to come. It's just interesting that it's one tech company against the others.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it was going to happen eventually. Either people were going to complain about it eventually, and it would come to legislative, or legislative was going to demand it. So I think they got ahead of it. It's not a bad move by Apple.
Well, this headline doesn't surprise me at all, seeing how bad Verizon is. There you go. AT&T, best first quarter in 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, time to switch.
Might be. Hey, I'll switch to that fiber in a second if they put it in my neighborhood.
No, this is wireless. This is
I
a
know.
cell.
I know it is.
Time to switch, man.
Still on a 2-year contract.
Well, they're buying those out now.
It's true. It's true.
So just saying, could be finally time to get on to the other side.
I know we are rounding out in the last 10 minutes. I just wanted to throw it out there. We have a couple people in the chat or in the actual Zoom here. If anybody wants to drop in a question, feel free. We got a couple minutes left, so we can definitely answer a question or two.
Oh my God, people are still buying toaster ovens. Who wants a Wi-Fi connected toaster oven? Anyone?
Actually, Amazon made a smart, like Alexa enabled microwave.
For what?
I really didn't understand it because you still have to put the food in there. So, and you're going to have to tell it twice. It's not going to be as simple as just Alexa 2 minutes, 30 seconds. You're going to have to tell her twice.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm surprised this hasn't happened already. This I knew was eventually going to come for sure. There you go. Child privacy lawsuit, TikTok.
Oh.
I mean, the average age of the person on TikTok is like 2.
It's not 2, but it is very young.
Yeah, we know. All these people find, until China wipes out your bank account, right?
Speaking of smart appliances, have you ever seen the Revolution toaster?
What? A Wi-Fi enabled toaster?
It's not Wi-Fi enabled, but it's got a full-blown touchscreen on it, and it'll like show you how dark your bread is going to be. You can pick out exactly what kind of bread you put into it. It's all touchscreen enabled. It's pretty sharp.
I feel like we're just making stuff to make stuff now.
A little bit. I mean, toasters only kind of have like a couple settings and they don't always really work. This seems pretty accurate in terms of how it's working. It actually like sucks the bread in on its own and stuff. It's pretty slick.
I don't know whether to take this as a good or a bad thing. U.S. Department of Justice is reportedly looking to undermine ransomware extortion schemes. I don't know. I feel like this is going to blow up.
I mean, the hard part with that is you can have the DOJ involved in it, but the fact of the matter is, I mean, you and I are both in the industry. A lot of that's not coming from the U.S. I'm not saying none of it is, but there's a lot of it coming from overseas, and that's going to be really hard to do anything about. I mean, it's no different than the argument about the robocalls and the scam calls and everything else. I mean, those suck too, and they have plenty of task force against that, but not a whole lot's happening.
Yeah, I don't think anything good's coming from that. Just my opinion. I appreciate it's a problem, but I feel like that's just gonna jam everybody out there that runs into it.
It's a major problem, but realistically, what MSPs need to think about is it's going to lead to legislation. That's really what'll happen there, and that'll lead to legislation that'll potentially make your lives a little bit harder. It could bring good though. Could bring new layers of compliance or new levels of what's okay in the cyber industry, because the truth is it's not all that configured right now. So there's definitely a lot of holes left open, and it's not too dictated right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's only going to make things harder, especially for the insurance companies out there that have these ransomware negotiators we keep on hearing about.
Yeah, I mean, negotiating is never a good play. The moment you pay anything, they know you've got dollars and they'll be back.
Yeah.
You're not even getting it off your computer. You're literally just unlocking the data in some cases. So
you hope.
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 more. I got this one, which is Discord apparently said, nope, I don't want your $10 billion, Microsoft. We're going to do it on our own.
Wow.
Yeah. How do you like that?
We did get a question in from Seth. He said the cyber insurance policies are changing to require MFA at the domain login.
I mean, it's kind of already, I mean, okay. I haven't seen the policy say that yet, but that's not a hard requirement.
Nope.
It's not. So like that should just be, yeah, exactly right. Duo is an easy one, I would think. For the price, why not? Consolidate it all into one. Outlook, web access, and the actual Windows login, triple play. Triple play.
That asked if you need a Radius server.
Nope. You don't need a Radius server.
There you go.
Not at all.
I mean, I'm not surprised. MFA should have been a standard practice a long time ago. Some industries did it, right? Banking did it super early on. A lot of others are catching on pretty quickly, but I'm not surprised. Who knows? Maybe another 5 years from now, we'll all be required to do the physical logins like Google. But
what do you mean physical login?
They have the tags. Once they get close enough, the NFC tags. Once they get close enough, it logs them in.
Okay.
So it's auto locks your computer at all times if you're away from it.
Yeah, sure. Okay. This is my last one. No matter what, you're gonna see Michael Keaton back as Batman.
That's very exciting. Grew up on that. That was definitely my era. Loved it, and still one of my favorite Batmen. So looking forward to that. I don't love the Flash character that they have in the Justice League, but we'll see.
100%. I'm pumped for it. Well, everyone, we'll be back every Tuesday, every Thursday, 1:00 Eastern time. All of our sessions are recorded on mspinitiative.com under sessions. Visit us at the Channel Strong Tour, same page. If you're out in the Midwest in May, we'll be out in some other areas later on this year. And then don't forget to sign up for some prizes. You never know. Got to enter to win. It's like the lottery. If you didn't buy that ticket, there's no way you can be the lucky winner.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, odds are a lot better than lottery. I can tell you that much. Definitely keep an eye out for us. And if you want to be able to get into stop into one of these stops, you want to host us down the road, right? Reach out. Team's always looking to connect with MSPs around the country and figure out if we can work with you. So keep in touch. Look forward to all the feedback we get from you guys regularly already, and look forward to talking to you guys soon or seeing you on the tour.
You got it, guys. Catch you next Thursday, 1:00 Eastern. Bye.
Hey, guys.